Most riders spend years chasing the wrong bike. They want something that looks great in photos and punishes them for hours on the road. Today we're looking at 6 motorcycles that actually make long rides enjoyable, but genuinely easy to live with mile after mile. If you've ever arrived somewhere sore, stiff, or just done, this list is for you. Honda NM4 Vultus. The NM4 Vultus gets overlooked constantly. It looks like something from a sci-fi film, and a lot of riders write it off before they ever sit on one. That's a mistake. The riding position is low and stretched forward, relaxed without being lazy. Honda built this around all-day comfort, and it shows. The 745cc parallel twin is smooth and predictable, never demanding, always cooperative. Around town, it feels effortless. On longer highway stretches, the wind protection from that low-slung front end actually does something useful. The downside? It's a heavy bike. Slow-speed maneuvering takes some adjustment, especially in tight spaces. On the used market, you can usually find these starting around $5,500, $7,000 depending on condition and year. It doesn't look like everyone else's bike. That's part of the appeal. BMW R nineT Scrambler. Scrambler sits in an interesting place. It has the looks of something rugged and adventurous, but the ride quality of a bike that genuinely respects your body over long distances. The air-cooled boxer twin is the centerpiece here. That distinctive thump, the slight vibration through the bars, it's characterful without being exhausting. Torque comes in low and stays there, so you're not constantly working the throttle to maintain momentum. Ergonomics are upright and natural. Your wrists, back, and shoulders stay in a position that makes sense for more than 20 minutes. It handles well on mixed roads. Not a pure off-roader, but confident on light gravel and relaxed on tarmac. The honest downside, it's expensive, even used. And without a windscreen, highway riding at sustained speeds gets tiring faster than you'd expect. On the used market, expect to pay around $8,500, $11,000 depending on condition and spec. Worth it if character matters as much as comfort to you. Yamaha XSR700. The XSR700 doesn't shout. It just quietly gets everything right. It's light, neutral, and forgiving. The kind of bike that builds confidence without you realizing it's happening. The 689cc parallel twin pulls cleanly from low revs, which makes city riding genuinely relaxed. On open roads, it has enough grunt to feel satisfying without ever pushing you into uncomfortable territory. The riding position is the real story. Slightly forward lean, feet naturally placed. It works for shorter riders and taller ones alike. You can spend a full day on this bike and step off feeling reasonable. Luggage options are limited out of the box, so longer touring needs some planning. That's the main trade-off. On the used market, these start around $5,000, $7,500, depending on year and mileage. This is where riding starts feeling easy. The XSR700 is proof that simple, done well, beats complicated every time. Here's where most riders get it wrong. They focus entirely on horsepower and top speed when choosing a bike for long rides. But after hour 3 on the road, none of that matters. What matters is how your back feels, how predictable the throttle is, and whether the bike works with you instead of against you. The bikes on this list understand that. The next 2 especially. Moto Guzzi V85 TT V85 TT is built around one idea, going far without suffering for it. The transverse V-twin is smooth in a way that's hard to explain until you've ridden one. Power delivery is linear and unhurried. It doesn't surge or snap. It just pulls, steadily and confidently, mile after mile. The upright riding position keeps your spine in a natural place, and the seat is one of the better stock seats you'll find at this price point. Wind protection is genuinely useful on the highway. Longer trips feel manageable in a way that surprises you the first time. It's not a fast bike. It's not trying to be. And the electronics package on newer models keeps things smooth across different road conditions. The downside is real. Moto Guzzi's dealer network is thin in many areas. Servicing requires some planning depending on where you live. On the used market, these typically start around $9,000 12 verse Zao depending on year and trim. If long-distance comfort is the priority, this one belongs near the top of your list. Royal Enfield Shotgun 650. The Shotgun 650 is Royal Enfield doing something genuinely interesting with their platform. The parallel twin 648cc engine is proven, relaxed, and easy to live with. Vibration is well managed for a bike at this price. Low-end torque makes city commuting effortless, and the highway cruising posture, slightly forward, feet mid-position, works surprisingly well over longer distances. It looks like a bobber but rides more practically than that style usually suggests. You notice this quickly once you're actually moving. The suspension is comfortable without feeling vague. Fit and finish has improved significantly over the last couple of years. This is not the Royal Enfield of a decade ago, the limitation. It's a new model, so long-term reliability data is still building. And customization, while part of the appeal, adds cost fast. On the used market, early examples are starting to appear around $5,500, $7,000. For riders who want character and comfort without the premium price tag, this makes a strong case. The CFMoto 700 CLX is the one people dismiss until they actually look at the numbers. It's built on a 693cc parallel twin developed in partnership with KTM. That matters. The engine is refined, smooth at highway speeds, and pulls well from low RPM without any drama. Ergonomics are relaxed and upright, comfortable for riders of different sizes without modification. The suspension is well tuned for real roads, not just smooth tarmac. What surprises most people is the build quality. It doesn't feel like a budget compromise. Fit, finish, and component quality punch noticeably above the price point. This is where the value conversation gets interesting. You're getting a genuinely capable, comfortable motorcycle for a fraction of what comparable Japanese or European bikes cost. That's not nothing. The honest limitation, brand recognition, and resale value are still catching up. The dealer and service network, depending on your region, can be inconsistent. That's worth researching before you commit. On the used market, these are available starting around $4,500, $6,000 depending on condition and location. If budget matters and you don't want to sacrifice ride quality, the 700 CLX deserves a serious look. 6 bikes, all different, all built around making long rides something you actually look forward to, not something you recover from. Which one would you choose?